Good afternoon, guys. How's it going today? Are we taking our defeats, are we taking our struggles and turning them into triumphs, or at least thinking about it? If we're not, or we're not, haven't had some success today, don't give up. This is where belief and determination steps in. This is where you have to remind yourself of how powerful your thoughts are. So go back at it again. If the day's not over for you, or if you are simply thinking about something that has happened, remember, you have a chance to learn from it now, but you have to believe that you can learn from it. You have to never give up on thinking about how you can learn from it. And that will turn this defeat, this loss, this pain that you may be going through, this challenge, it'll turn it into a victory and it'll continue to build and build. But just don't give up and continue to believe that you can do it. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
People buy things all the time and say yes to things all the time that they don't necessarily believe everything about.
If you're selling something you don't like, something you don't believe in, something that you don't use yourself, something that you wouldn't recommend to your mom, then don't sell it.
Really winning in business is more about staying power, more about relentlessness, more about tenacity, more about vision, more about dreams than it's ever about skill.
Rise and shine, it's Espresso time. Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I am not a morning person. I'm not. But when you start your day with a powerful morning routine that inspires you, like watching one of these videos, it will change your life. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee, know that I believe in you, and get ready for a shot of Espresso from Ed Milet.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso, keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
So I think people mistake some things. I don't talk about some specifics. The first thing is this. I finally figured out that I'm not trying to completely convince you of everything I'm saying. I'm trying to convince you that I believe what I'm saying. So I think there's a subtle difference when you're influencing people. People think to close you, I have to convince you to believe everything I'm saying. I don't believe that's true. I think I have to convince you that I believe what I'm saying.
right.
That's a totally different level of influence. It looks less like a beggar. It looks far more certain, which is level 2. Level 2 is the more certain person will always influence the least certain person, and you know your product. So you should be more certain about it than they are, or your program. So a couple things about that. All kinds of things give you certainty. Okay, number one, preparation. Knowing your script, knowing your product back and forth, believing in your product back and forth, knowing that you know the words, knowing you know what you're going to say when it's a dance. This is very interesting to me when people struggle at sales. There's only like a certain amount of objections you're going to get in whatever your industry is. You already know what they're going to say. It's one of 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 different things. You ought to be ready to respond to them. So most people in sales are professional presenters. They're not professional closers. They're great at their presentation. They can't close. And so I got really good at closing because someone's going to close somebody. Either you're going to close me, you shouldn't, or I'm going to close you that you should.
Yeah.
And so the more certain person's going to win. If you just want to accept that truth, that one, you got to believe that I believe what I'm saying, not that you believe. People buy things all the time and say yes to things all the time that they don't necessarily believe everything about. They believe the person presenting it to them believes it. That's a different level.
I used to think I was really bad at sales. Honestly, I thought sales was sleazy. I thought you're just ripping people off. I thought you're just trying to convince people to do something that maybe it's in their best interest, maybe it's not, but it's definitely in your best interest. I guess I had the stereotypical view of what a salesperson was. I had the negative experiences from all the people telemarketing me and calling me and pretending like they care, but they don't. And I really struggle with lack of authenticity. You know, I really struggle with that. And every model of a salesperson that I would see, I felt like, this person doesn't get it. I never want to be this person. I never want to be the person selling something that I don't believe in. And so I think that honestly helped me back for a number of years until I realized you can be authentic and sell. You know, you can actually love what you're selling, know that it can be valuable to the customer and move them in a direction that serves them and helps you too. And I don't know if there's enough, honestly, great sales training or sales examples to model and learn from. Because if you think about your own experience with salespeople, most of them are, again, just trying to close you, just trying to sell you, and it doesn't feel authentic, and it feels like a negative experience. It feels slimy. I think back to when I was 12 and 13 years old and I was negotiating baseball cards. I remember one kid, I had a garage sale, and a kid came up and wanted my Michael Jordan baseball rookie card, upper deck, for the season he played with the Chicago White Sox. And I had it listed for 20 bucks, and he came and he offered me 10, and he said that that's all he had on him. And I said, go home and get the other 10. And he did. He went home and he got the other 10. And why? Why push him? Well, I believed in the card was worth 20 bucks. I believed it was worth it. Not that I bought it for whatever and I was just trying to make a margin, like it was actually worth it. I think to last week when I was helping Drew's an entrepreneur I invested in. He is a consultant helping other people grow YouTube channels. And I introduced him to a couple of prospects, and I got on a call with them and helped them close a couple deals. And I have a ton of energy when I'm talking to somebody about their YouTube channel that I actually believe in. Like if I see somebody who's an expert, like you are an expert, you could be great at this. You could be America's face for whatever. You've got a deep well of knowledge. We need to get that out into the world. YouTube has to be your number one home. When I'm on a call, there's a lot of energy and excitement for that because I deeply believe that it's the best thing for them. I actually see the vision for where they could go. And it's my belief in them that's greater than their belief in themselves for this thing that carries the day. Meanwhile, there's been tons of things that I haven't sold. The number of people who pitch me every day with, hey, Evan, can you do a shout out? Hey, Evan, how much does it cost to promote my product? Hey, Evan, can you be an affiliate for my company? I was like, oh, well, I have to use your thing. I've never used your product or service, so I'm not going to recommend it to people if I haven't used it. When I did a 3-year deal with Sage, for those OG on the channel, you might remember I did 3 years of me and Stephen Kelly, who's the CEO of Sage. Sage is one of the biggest companies in Europe. And we did every month live chat on my YouTube channel. And before doing that deal with him, I loved him. He was great. One of my favorite CEOs of all time that I've met. Most CEOs are boring, afraid to answer questions, afraid to do anything live. He was great. But I wasn't a Sage user. I was a Microsoft Money user at the time. Shout out to Microsoft Money. And I said, in order for me to do this deal, I need to actually become a user. I need to switch my team over to Sage. We have to be able to use it on a daily basis. I want to be able to tell people and look them in the eye that I'm actually using it myself. I want to be able to troubleshoot some things, like if somebody says, hey, how do I look at my balance sheet or income statement? I could point to it and show it because I'm using it. And that was part of the deal of why we made it 3 years, is because for me to convert over and move all my team over was effort, right? And it's why I leave tons of money on the table because I'm just unwilling to promote things that I don't care about or use personally. And so step number one is always, I'm going to use it. I'm going to see if I like it. I'm going to see if I can actually apply it to my business. And if I'm comfortable talking about it or recommending it, then I will. And if I love it, then I become such a great advocate for it. I think this is maybe the missing piece for a lot of you who may struggle with sales. Like if you're selling something you don't like, something you don't believe in, something that you don't use yourself, something that you wouldn't recommend to your mom, then don't sell it. People who are just chasing an opportunity, thinking it's a hot time to sell whatever product, don't do it. You're gonna feel gross, you're gonna get really poor results, you're gonna beat yourself up about it, where the problem is you just don't love the thing that you're selling and don't think that there's a lot of value in it. Where if you actually do, if you love it, and you know that this thing can solve somebody's problem, can have an impact on their life, can change it for the better, that's when you can go all in on it. And I think that's where most people actually generate a lot of enthusiasm and excitement. I think one of the biggest challenges for entrepreneurs is you love what you're doing, but you doubt if it's actually going to work. It's your own insecurity about yourself, that you don't know if you're going to get a result for the person. You don't know if the product or service is actually going to be the best thing for them. You love delivering, you love creating the product, you love helping them with the service, but you don't know if it's actually going to pay off, right? You don't know if you have what it takes to actually help them, even if you've helped other people. And that's where you need to get more certainty. Certainty in your ability to deliver. Certainty in knowing that even if you don't have everything figured out, you are going to show up for this client. That even if everything goes wrong, you'll find a way to show up. When you can adopt that mentality, everything shifts and changes. When I did my speaking tour and then we had to cancel on some people because I broke my neck, I said, okay, we'll make it up to them. You know, I'll over deliver. I'll do a free call with everybody who came, who paid for that event that we're gonna cancel on them. We're gonna refund them the money, obviously, but on top of that, we're gonna offer a free call with me to help them with whatever is, like, why did they want to come to the event in the first place? What's on their mind? How can I help and serve them? There's always a way to do more. There's always a way to over deliver. Even if you mess up, there's a way that you can save the relationship and help. And so just keep that in your mind to help you get the certainty, because your intention is good. You want to serve. You know you're capable of doing it. But there's that little voice of doubt that you're not quite sure if it's going to work out for this client or not. If you can tap into that knowing that even if everything goes wrong, you can still help them. And you will work your face off until they are happy. That can give you the confidence to go in with the enthusiasm and certainty that's required to actually close the deal. Now I've got a special bonus clip you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and you just get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of actually following through. That, Believe Nation, is not enough. But when you create a specific plan of action, I write it down of what you're gonna do, that number jumps from 35% to 91% chance of you following through. And when you commit publicly to others, like leaving a comment with your plan down below, that number jumps to 95% chance of you following through. So I wanna know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Put it down in the comments below, and next week I will profile one of you.
I love the book by my brother Evan Carmichael, Built to Serve, you guys. This is the kind of thing you get in this book. Most people wake up and drive to a job they hate. Think about your 5 closest friends. Are they happy? Do they live their lives with purpose? Do you? We put on a fake front for what we want people to see and think about us, but the reality is most people aren't happy. We're lost. We settle. You can't be happy if you don't know your purpose. And then he goes on to explain how to do that. You guys should get this book, Built to Serve, by my dear friend Evan Carmichael. You got to be able to have a big enough dream that the visions and the dreams of the people you're going to enroll into your organization, they're going to become a part of your team or your company, their dreams and their visions can fit inside this big one you've got. That's what makes you magnetic. That's what makes you compelling. That's what attracts people to you. And so anything, Art used to say, any church, Boy Scout troop, football team, you show me something that's winning, it's run by a leader. And leaders have vision. Where there is no vision, people perish. Where there's no vision, your business perishes. Where there's no dream, whatever endeavor it is you're involved in will eventually perish. But if the dream's alive, if the dream's big enough, you can accomplish anything, because you'll overcome the adversity, the tough times, the difficult times that the people who ultimately lose won't overcome. Really winning in business is more about staying power, more about relentlessness, more about tenacity, more about vision, more about dreams than it's ever about skill. You show me somebody with enough vision, a big enough dream, I'll show you somebody who will eventually acquire the skills, the talents, or the other people necessary to make that huge dream happen. But I've seen all kinds of talented people, all kinds of skilled people that succumb to adversity.
Hi, we're Fiverr, a global marketplace with freelancers offering thousands of digital services.
Some people deceive themselves into thinking they're further ahead than they are, right?
Yeah.
They're constantly, they always want to tell you how well they're doing, and they're sort of deceiving themselves, and that deception leads to lack of activity, drive, desire, blah, blah, blah. You and I do the reverse. I deceive myself I'm further behind than I am. I know you do this too, because we've talked about it. I love deceiving myself. I love deceiving our company. I love deceiving the team, because I want us to feel like we got it. Malcolm X has this great quote. He says, "That which you do not hate, you will eventually tolerate." I'm a big believer, and I got to almost despise where I am right now, and I do. So I'm the kind of the king of deception with myself.
Most of you lose control of your life in the first 5 minutes after you wake up. I talk about it in my book, and you begin to respond all day long. The first thing is this: the hardest thing you will do, and the thing that will change your life almost with the greatest impact, is to not check your phone for the first 30 minutes you wake up in the morning. I'm telling you that
might be the biggest game changer.
It is the biggest game changer for me. It was so difficult, because so what I did is I moved it away from where I sleep. But I'm just going to say to you all, you think that's not a big deal, I got to check it. I'm telling you, if you could go 30 minutes, if you could start by going 10 minutes to begin your day, something where you do not check that sucker and react. And then what you say about the gratitude thing, that's profound for me, and it's a breakthrough for me when you said it. I'm always kind of like, what are the big things I'm grateful for? God, I'm grateful for my kids. You reduce it down to just something. What's the smallest thing you could be grateful for, right? I love that, because there's always a small thing you could be grateful for. I'm grateful I clipped my toenails yesterday, whatever it is, right? There's something. So I just want to validate how powerful I think both those simple tools, the simplest things, make the biggest impacts in our lives. I want you to write this down. I need you to embrace the
power of you controlling your breathing right now. Feel the power of you enjoying your greatest gift right now. That's you. That's your presence. That's your greatest power. Your power to determine, to stay in the present, in the now, and be your true great being that you are. No matter what. In this present moment, everything is here you need right now. So let's see ourselves today doing the best we can in the gym of life. Here we are again. Controlling our minds. Controlling our breathing. One great thought at a time. One great breath at a time. So see yourself doing your best on all the exercises we do today together, here and now. That's your determination, your greatest power, power that's the same in you and every human being on the planet. Good morning, determination. How's everyone doing today? What a day again. Great day. Here we are. May not like exactly all the conditions that are going on right now, but we are here right now, together, working on our minds and working on our bodies. So here we go. When I say go, we're going to start doing our best jog on the spot, or you can go back and forth if you want to just walk. Remember to keep in mind the safety of the space you are working with. Always keep that in mind. Here we go. When I say go, we're going to do our best jog ever. But you got to see it in your mind first. That's where everything begins, in your mind. But to be your true great self, you also sometimes have to get out of your mind just to be you. Just to be. Here we go. Jogging on the spot. Feel the control of you. Breathing in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Always have that power to determine, to take control of your breathing, your mind, and your body. That's what keeps us here and now, in the present. The greatest gift we all have always. Almost there. Keep going. Determination. Keep going. All right. And let's walk it out. Back and forth. Or just walk on the spot. If that's all the space you have. All right, everyone. Let's start off with our shoulder rolls. Here we go. 10 shoulder rolls forward. So the power of all of us right now, watching this, working together on one thing. No matter what's going on, we can stay in the present, right here, right now. And backwards. let's do arm circles forward. Here we go, arm circles forward. 10 forward, and we'll go 10 backwards. Boom. Feel the power of you enjoying moving your body, being free to move through space. And backwards. Okay, here we go. Now let's do hands on our hips, bend your knees, and side stretch. Alright, and let's twist our body now. So 5 on each side. Keep your feet flat on the floor. Alright, excellent. Okay, let's do 5 push-ups together. Our best 5 push-ups. Here we go. If you gotta keep your knees down on the ground, that's fine. Just do the best you can. Alright, let's do 5 sit-ups. Alright, and standing up. And let's do 5 squats. Our best 5 squats. Alright, excellent. Let's do lunges. 3 on each side. Arms up. Excellent. Alright. And 10-second plank. Bring these knees off the ground. Hold it there for 10. Good work, everyone, and stand up and reach for the sky or the ceiling on your toes, depending on where you are. Feel the joy of reaching. If you lose your balance, get back up again. Never give up, no matter what. All right, now let's reach for our toes, straight knees. Again, feel the joy of the process of you reaching. Trying to go a little bit further than last time without hurting yourself. You know the truth about you and how much you can do. Right here, right now. Okay, and come on up again. Let's balance. Grab one leg. Find that balance. Again, if you have to imagine yourself with roots underneath your feet that are going through the ground fully, deep into the earth, do that. If that helps you. And switch. Notice the power of all of us right now. Controlling our minds, to control our bodies, to control our breathing, and to control our balance. Alright, and now let's hug our knee. Here we go. Bend the other one if you have to. Find that balance point and pull the knee up. Hug your knee, give it a good hug. And switch, the other one. Feel the joy of you finding your balance in this moment right now. It's the same way you can do it in anything in life. Alright, okay, and let's sit down and reach for our toes, straight knees. There we go. Feel the gift of you. Trying to be your best. The best you. Not your best compared to others. Just your best you. V shape with our legs, and let's reach for the floor as far away from our body as we can. Again, enjoy the process. Enjoy the reaching. You'll never get to an end point. There is no end point. Reach for one to the other side. Knees free. We gotta learn to love the process of everything we're doing. That's what will always keep us mind healthy, and more importantly, mind wealthy. And switch. Mind wealthy meaning that we choose courage, we choose determination over fear, over giving up. Okay, and let's bring our feet together and gently push our knees down with the elbows. Hold it there for 10 seconds. Always remember your breathing. And one leg forward, one leg back. Go as far back as you can. Keep that knee down. Just feel the power, the joy of this moment right now. This is how we win. One moment at a time. And switch. We always win if we control our minds. We don't let our minds control us. It's not the way it's supposed to be. We are infinitely intelligent. We control our minds. All right, and let's roll onto our bellies. Push the floor and look up at the ceiling. Or the sky, wherever you are. Ready? Here we go. Okay, and legs crossed again, back straight, eyes closed. Breathing in through our nose, out through our mouth. Feeling the joy in every breath. Now, let's see in our mind today the vision we want to create for our best exercises. For me today, I'm going to see myself doing my best on each of the 2 songs I choose on 1 exercise each. So I'm going to see in my mind myself holding the lunge position for each leg as long as possible, hopefully for the duration of the first song. And then for the second song, I'm going to see myself holding a V sit-up position as long as I can. You don't have to choose those exercises. You may if you want. But you can see in your mind right now, whatever exercise you love doing, as long as you're doing it safely. You can dance, you can jump, you can do jumping jacks, lunges, squats, whatever your heart desires right now. As long as you stay safe. You know how to stay safe. You're made of rules, truth, principles that are designed to keep you safe, happy, successful, and free and peaceful all the time. It's a matter of want. You gotta want to be safe, healthy, and happy. You gotta want it so bad, as bad as you want it. Alright everybody, here I go. My best to hold the lunge position on each leg. What about you? What are you going to do? Whatever you do, remember, your happiness is dependent on you doing your best on whatever it is you're doing. So here we go. Sometimes I'll keep my arms out like this too. Sometimes I'll put them out this way. Sometimes I'll bring them up. Slowly bring them back down. Just enjoying the pleasure of my body. This is true happiness for me. Working on my mind and body all at once. And I want it for you. I want you to know that the way you do this, the way you control your mind and do this, the way you can do anything. Remember, our body has limits that we have yet to discover, but our mind is unlimited. More importantly, you control your mind, which makes you infinitely intelligent. Happiness is the truth. Thank you. Hallelujah. choose to do when that pain, discomfort sets in. What you choose to do. That's okay. Get a leg now. Shake off that burn. Wherever you are, you are fully enjoying the moment right now. Your happiness is always up to you. Clap along. Happy. Hope you're enjoying your exercise right now, wherever you are. My legs are shaking. I'm uncomfortable. I get to choose what I do next. I'm proud of my effort. Proud of my determination. I hope you are too, wherever you are. Still got more. Yeah, keep going. Here we go. Let's go. Determination. Let's go. Keep going wherever you are until the song's over. Or if you got your own song on, keep going. Keep going. Love your effort. Love your process right now. Alright, next one for me is holding my feet sit-up position. Even if I let go, I'm gonna get back up for the full duration of the song. Whatever you're doing, enjoy it fully. Follow your heart and soul. Here we go. Nobody can break your stride. Keep going. You can get back up. Keep going and getting better all the time. Even if your body slows you down. Remember, those limits, we're always discovering them. Always. Sometimes I'll change my articulation just to keep my balance. Love the close-ups. Just constantly pushing a little bit more. Go again. Still going. We got music in us. Bring out our music over here. Keep pushing. Keep striving. Keep going to find and be your true great self. Focus on your power of determination. No matter what. Best thing to bring yourself up. Awesome. Proud of the effort. Hope you are too. Here we go. We end. Well, quote unquote, we never really end. We now focus on our breathing. Back straight, eyes closed, legs crossed. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel that power that you're using to control your breathing. It's your connection to oneness, to what we all really are, to the truth. The ultimate truth. That you were born to win control over your mind. We all do that. We find out the truth of who we all really are. Infinitely intelligent beings, powerful beyond measure. The power of all knowing right here, right now, this moment. You're already made of all knowing things. You're made of that same stuff. With that, you can always have and be your true, peaceful, happy, kind, loving self. No matter what. As you reflect back on your effort today, always remember that if you gave your best in whatever you were doing, that you can do it now, and you can do it forever. That's what makes you a winner. Born to be happy, peaceful, to be mind healthy and wealthy, always. No matter what's going on outside your mind, no matter what anybody or anything suggests about you, any negativity, that's all a lie. It's all losses. Losses that we, as determination, we get to transform to win, to truth, to accuracy of who we really are. And that's why I love you and everybody in this universe. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great week. Enjoy every moment. You're the greatest gift ever. Love you all so much. Take care.
Welcome to Best Life 30, your 30-day journey to creating the best life possible for yourself. You can just watch this video, or if you want to sign up for the entire series for free and get the companion bonus worksheets that go with this video, check the link in the description below. All right, so today is day 24, and we're going to learn how you can become a better marketer.
Hi, we're Fiverr, a global marketplace with freelancers offering thousands of digital services.
How, aside from making great products, how do you get people excited about Tesla? There's a lot of people I know and that I talk to who are just intrigued and interested and excited about Tesla as a company.
The thing I really focus on at Tesla is like really put all of our money into and attention into trying to make the product as compelling as possible. So, because I think that really the way to sell any product is through word of mouth. So if somebody gets the car, they really like it, and actually the key is like to have a product that people will love. And generally people, if they're at a party or talking to friends or whatever, you'll talk about the things that you love. But if you just like something, it's okay. You're not going to care that much. But if you
get
love
the reactions from the highs and the lows, so you got to make sure people really love it.
You're going to talk, and then that'll generates word of mouth. And that's basically how our sales have grown. Like we don't spend any money on advertising or endorsements or so anyone like buys our car, they just bought it because they like the car, and it's genuine.
When you look at the big picture, there's 3 things an entrepreneur must learn. Number 1 is PR. And what you're talking about is PR. The other day, Fox News interviewed me to find out if I would endorse my friend Donald Trump for president. You know how much that's worth? They co-branded us. Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, and Trump. That's incredibly priceless. So getting PR is a number 1 skill. Under that is marketing. And what marketing does is like advertising. They want to set the customer up to get ready to buy. Oh yeah, I saw that Kia ad. I want to buy a Kia. I want to buy some land, I want to buy this. So the customer is now primed to buy. That's marketing's job. Then the last thing is a sale. So if you've done a really good job on PR, then you've done a great job on marketing. The sale is like that. They walk in, they buy. But if you have no PR and you have no marketing, you have to pound, hard close. Well, Mr. Customer, today's changing business environment, you should buy my insurance. And people today hate sales pitches more than ever before. So the number 1 sales job of a true entrepreneur is to develop your ability to get PR. And I'll say it again, most entrepreneurs are not good at sales. They're horrible at marketing. They have no idea what it is. And they can't get any PR. And so they struggle. And again, sales equals income. So they crash.
This is a huge mistake that people make in marketing, that so many newsletters are me. What am I thinking? Like, come look at me. Hey, I'm at an event. Hey, buy my And whenever we sit and write the newsletter, we're thinking about what is the most valuable thing because somebody has actually invited us into their inbox. And that is a critical question in marketing that most people are not asking themselves. They're spamming people and they're doing only shit that's about them. And they're not thinking about, well, why does somebody subscribe to me? And when we write that newsletter, and it's why it is so incredibly successful and why people love it, we're always thinking about, does this interest or help or entertain the person that's reading it? And, anytime that it turns out to be too much of us talking about us, somebody on the team catches it, thank God. Because there's nothing more annoying than having somebody go on and on and on about all the cool shit they're doing versus thinking about what are some interesting hacks and links and cool things that we can introduce people to that might improve their work or their life.
When I started a Twitter account, I had no followers. When I started a Facebook account, no followers. I was my first follower. When I started an Instagram account, no followers. I didn't know how to post video. I didn't know how to take a selfie. I didn't know how to do any of this, but I did have a commitment to growing my finances. And if you want to grow your finances, attention is the gateway. You want to go to heaven? Who wants to go to heaven? You got to die. Just telling you, man, you got to die to go to the heaven. And most people don't want to die. They want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die. Most people want money, but they're not willing to get the attention. They're not willing to do what it takes to get the attention, including spending money. And I would just tell you this, if you want to change your financial condition, the first thing you need to do is go out and market in the marketplace so that you can create a lead and not worry about whether there's ROI or not. It's so stupid that people are like, what's the ROI? Dude, what's the ROI if nobody knows you? Okay, what's the ROI if I don't know your name, don't know your company, don't know what you do, don't know your service, don't know your product, don't know where you're located? What is the ROI, okay? Best product does not win today. The best known product wins. So if you're taking notes, write this down. Best known product wins. It always has won. Best car doesn't win. The best automobile doesn't win. Hey, what happened to the Volvo?
Because it's a Volvo, you're safe, in full control of its power.
Oh, it's the safest car. The safest car that nobody has. Right? But it's the safest. You think Starbucks sells the best coffee? Please, it's nasty. Okay? But it's close. And I know what I'm getting when I get there. McDonald's, they don't sell the best hamburger. Close and available. When I started my business, I'd get money and I'd save it. I'd get money and I'd save it. I'd get money and I'd save it. And I didn't spend money in marketing and branding. So when I was writing the 10X rule, I'm like, dude, why am I not bigger than I've been busting my ass, working so hard. I've been pushing and shoving. I have the best products of anybody in my space. I know I have the biggest platform of products and the best products. Why are other guys kicking my ass? Yep. And I'm like, dude, you haven't reinvested the money in marketing and branding, right? I was not spending money. I look at the mattress guy in Boston. I look at the car dealer in Boston. Herb Chambers outspends everybody.
Crushes.
The mattress guy outspends everybody. The my pillow guy on TV. He who knows what he spends? He might spend $100 million a year in advertising to get $1 billion. And I'm like, oh my God, dumb. You didn't market and you didn't advertise. So this month we'll spend probably $1 million on advertising.
If you're a national bank, instead of spending $50 million on television commercials that nobody sees, I'd rather go give a big time production company $10 million to be the sponsor of a new show on Netflix called ATM, where the whole show transpires around ATMs, and it is literally your company, like actually, not a made up bank. The Ed Sullivan Show was funded and created by the Lincoln Town Car Company. People forget that history. Television started with brands funding it. Commercials came later. I believe now that commercials are going to be disappearing because we're watching streaming. I do believe that Netflix and Hulu and Amazon will test commercials. My intuition is if they're smart, they're going to do product integration. And I think, look, let me give you another one. I've always thought that like a big car company with like the trucks should do a show called The Tailgate, where the whole show, again, is at a tailgate. And it's your truck is the family's truck, Toyota, Ford, and like, that works.
It's interesting because watching the Masters yesterday, how mature the whole brand placement and lack of advertising becomes. It's amazing what can be done.
Or the new world we live in. On Twitter, the number one thing that people were talking about was Tiger chewing gum. And so we have a gum client. So I called him, this is Sunday now, you gotta move fast. I'm like, hey, dude, like there's I don't know if you guys saw at one of the award show, the Fiji water girl, right? The woman, I think they call it, that's more aware, guys, nobody watches commercials. Nobody goes through direct mail carefully. Nobody's going to page 37 of a magazine looking at the ad carefully. The world has changed, I'm sorry. Farming used to be our #1 industry. Things happen. Sears was #1. Walter Cronkite was, America's dad. Things change. I'm sorry, things change. Things have changed.
How do you apply that to business? So what you've learned in boxing, the lessons, being a champion, how?
That's interesting because you have to know in business, as in boxing, you have to know how to market yourself. Yeah. You have to know what's going to allow people to fill up the seats.
Yeah.
And my situation came about, I was the killer. I was the psycho tough guy. I was the anti-hero. I wasn't a good guy, I wasn't a bad guy, just, what I was.
Yeah, dangerous.
This is a dangerous sport, boxing, and it's about making as much money you can and taking the less risk as possible.
Yeah, well, what do you view yourself as?
Businessman all the way, entertainer all the way. Never think about, I'm the champ of the world. Never think about that stuff, because I won't be able to move forward.
How do you think then sports and business can be similar or related?
Sports and business are the same. It's two ways. Sports, like me, right?
Yeah.
I'm the show. Now I'm the business.
Yeah.
So that's show business.
Yeah, exactly.
Before I was just the show.
Yeah. Now you got the full story. That's it. Now you got the full story.
Yeah.
The box office success when The Shawshank Redemption came out was Dumb and Dumber.
I'm just not going to laugh.
Well, no, but that's, just the juxtaposition of box office and what's that other term? critical. Shawshank got really good reviews, but because nobody could say Shawshank Redemption, it didn't get word of mouth. And I don't care how much you promote a film, if you don't have word of mouth, you ain't promoting it. People have to be able, now you can go and say, listen, I saw this really terrific film. It was called Sham Shimshunk. Got on the elevator in LA one day and the lady said, oh, I just saw you in the Hudsucker Reduction. So that was the reason it was not a box office success. No word of mouth at all.
I was a dead broke carpet cleaner, living off credit cards, working hard, struggling, doing a good job, operating with integrity, really cared, but there's no relationship between being good and getting paid. Right. And so until you actually learn how to sell what it is that you're off, whatever it is, service business, internet business, you know, being an author, speaker, doctor, it doesn't matter. You're in the marketing business, and in the marketing business, you're in really the relationship business. Yeah. You know, how you can either be a transaction, you know, marketer, or you can be a relationship marketer. And there's always, as you know, there's always more money in relationships. And I grew up incredibly shy, incredibly introverted. So I'm kind of like a introvert that learned how to talk to people, because if you don't, nothing happens. Right. I think marketing is the most important thing. Just like hold your breath for 3 minutes and see how well you do. Hold it for 5 minutes, hold it for 10 minutes. You can't, you'll die. Marketing is like that for business. If people's businesses are struggling, if their missions, and this is not just business entrepreneurial, this is every area of your life. I mean, you know, if you have a partner, you did some sort of marketing. There's something you did to meet the person, position yourself. So to answer the question, selling is what you do when you're on the phone or face-to-face with somebody. Marketing is what you do to get someone on the phone or face-to-face with you so that they're properly positioned. So the word positioning is really critical. So by the time that they actually talk with you or visit your store or go to your website or see you speak, they're pre-interested, pre-motivated, pre-qualified, and predisposed to do business with you. And I've said that a million times, and I drilled that into my head. It's all about, you know, pre-interested, pre-motivated, pre-qualified, predisposed. And if people are set up that way, the whole job of selling is much easier. Frankly, if you have to rely on talking someone into something, then you just aren't doing any marketing. If you don't have enough business, you probably have plenty of time. So spend that time learning. I mean, every one of us, you included. I mean, we have had to learn this knowledge of how to do webinars or how to do videos or how to do podcasts or how to write courses and write books and sales letters and run events and, you know, whatever. We weren't just born with the knowledge. Like anything else, you have to learn it. So there's 3 ways that you can learn. You can learn through the school of hard knocks and get yourself bloodied and beaten up. You can learn through the experiences of other people. You read their books, you go to their seminars, you invest in their courses. And the most effective way to learn is you actually teach it to other people. So once you learn something, like my buddy Evan Pagan says, speed of implementation. As soon as you hear an idea, the quicker you can put it into practice, the more likely it's going to become ingrained and it's going to become a part of your behavior. And so this is a behavioral change. It's not just having knowledge. There's certain, like a strategy or a business plan or a business is a series of to-dos done in a certain order that produce a certain result. Everything in life is a strategy. If your life is working, there are certain things you do in a certain way that make it work. If your life isn't working, there are certain things you're doing that are making it not work. So as it comes to marketing, the first thing to understand is that the distinction between selling and marketing. If you think marketing is like just a brand or a logo, I would encourage you to think differently of less about the way your company looks and more about the substance of what you're doing for the client. What is the value that you're actually delivering? Even if you're selling something that isn't life-changing, you know, you're like a comedy club. You know, how do you tell the story about the comedy club? So the number one thing that I say to people, if you think of it this way, if you have something to sell, write a sales letter, because a great salesperson is limited by the clock. You can only talk to so many people in a given day. Where the first guy I learned marketing from was a guy named Gary Halbert, who became a dear friend of mine. He passed away, about a decade ago, but just a brilliant copywriter. And what I learned with copy are the words. Words are what sell, and your ability to can and clone yourself. So sit down and write a sales letter. If you do not have a written sales letter, handwrite it. It's not about technology. Even Steve Jobs said in 1997 at the Worldwide Developers Conference, he said, we first start with the psychology, not the technology. And that's why Apple did so well, because he really thought about the customer experience, not about the tech. And so many tech companies that swear up and down they had better stuff than Apple, it was just packaged in a way. It's elegantly packaged. And if you look at all of Steve Jobs' keynotes in the Apple stores and the Genius bars, it was all about education-based marketing. So my first thing that I used in my carpet cleaning business, I'll give you an example. Everyone in that industry, and we're still the largest training organization in the world for cleaners and restorers. Wow. I don't run much of it anymore, but I have someone that does. I still own it. We have thousands of carpet and upholstery cleaners all over the world. Now people will be like, well, that's not my business. How does that apply to me? If you have to figure out how to successfully sell something nobody wants to buy, it forces you to learn a lot about marketing. So I had, how do you position something that nobody even really wants to do? It's like they have carpet and it got dirty or a cat pissed on it or whatever. Now I have to deal with it. It's the necessary evil of owning the stuff. No one likes it, but I had to learn how to sell other than price. So one of the first things I did was education-based marketing, and I learned one of the most effective ways to sell something is to simply educate people on how to make a buying decision, because the number one question in all consumers' minds is, who can I trust? And so your job as a business owner, your job as a marketer is to establish trust and rapport.
There's sharing that can be done through social media.